This is a lovely photograph on Facebook, posted by the brother of a friend of ours, Andy Byrne, Irish. He puts these on, these beautiful views of the Emerald Isle, and he's posted this one. Now I've done a drawing above this, but I'm going to change it because it's just a bit too high. But when we've got a picture like this, it's green. Everything is green. We've got bluer greens going into the distance here, but we've got these warmer greens coming into the foreground. And we can't put every leaf and branch, so we've got to make an overall impression of it and be selective. So we'll struggle to do it. It looks simple, but it's not really. It's what to leave out, how simple to make it, yet maintain the integrity of the view. So I'll come up to my drawing, I'll zoom out a little bit, and I'll have to make a little adjustment. Now I look at it again. Right, that'll do. I'll put my thing aside, my tablet aside, so I can see it. I'll get my rubber, and I'll just take the shape of that down a little bit. It's just a bit too insistent, so just too high. So I'll just put it in, going up here. That'll do. That's about it really. And we've got these hills here with the light just catching all the forests coming down the mountain there. I don't know where it is in Ireland. I've left a message on his Facebook page to ask. So as soon as I know, I'll add it to the information at the beginning of the video. So, Fabriana, £130. Doesn't need to be stretched. I painted on the other side of this one. I had a go at it earlier, but it didn't really work. Got my cup of tea. Got the 2-inch hake, or 1 3/4 inches. So, palette, lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, and burnt sienna. And a dirty brush. Bit of Payne's grey in there. So I'll just give it a bit of a wash all over. Now you'll find that when you do this, the paper will expand. Now as it does, you can reclip it, stretch it out and take as many of the bumps out as possible. The paper's quite strong, so you're not likely to rip it. Right, now we'll do a bit of raw sienna. The sky itself is is light with a bit of cloud over it, so this is just warming up the whole lot. And then clean the brush, bit of light red, bit of ultramarine. We want to be warm, so we put more red in the sky than blue. So we've got this going behind, and then right, there's little bits of stroking in here. It's stronger than that, I think. Okay, so with those colours, let's get a darker bit of raw sienna in there as well, on the blue side. But what I'm going to do before I do that, I've got cramp in my hands now. So on the bike ride I went on earlier, the 3 generations of Ushers, going out on the Wandle Trail, the River Wandle. I want to put in some lemon yellow on the lower and raw sienna, which is the light catching I want to preserve some of these lights catching the forest trees. So now we're going with the mountains. I was hoping that it was going to blend in a little bit with that yellow, but just keeping some showing, trying to get that impression. It's just going to be coming down to the horizon there. And just putting a bit of tree. Just trying to keep that outline of that tree. Now we can come down into the greens of this lower, well, almost this lower slope here. Right, let's just get these trees in now. Nice and dark. So I'm using burnt sienna, lemon yellow and Payne's grey. Look at that. There are some buildings in this bit here. So I could go and shut my window, I think. Someone's using hedge trimmer. It could be a bit darker here because it's not showing against in the counter change. Okay. Okay, so we've got some trees coming up here. Oh, hold on. Just see if I can just get these banks here just, I don't want to close up that gap anymore, but I want those, oh, it's like an island, a couple of islands. Right, I don't think that's quite right, but I've got to put in some dry brush in this, but I won't do that yet. We want to get this green tree in here now, so plenty of black and lemon yellow. Just trying to preserve that top of the tree. We've got another bit of light tree in the left here, so I'll put that in. Oops, too dry. Oh, wet. Oh. There's something to be said for making it up as you go along, because you don't have, because I'm copying or working from a model, I'm tending to be too literal, and I keep telling you not to be literal, and here I am being literal myself. Right, let's get some light under there. And then we've got, come down here, just to remind me. Right, we get a variety of greens in here. Bit of sienna. I'm going to put a path in there somewhere. There is a path on the photograph, but I'm going to, if I can remember, I'm going to accentuate it a little bit. See, that's why I put the green in. The light, I mean the yellow, so I can paint round it. So I've just got a tangle of greens in here now. Right, let's put that path in. I'll add some trunks. You can't see them in the photograph. They're probably so much foliage, being Ireland, beautiful place. I've never been, but which is a bit strange because I have family. My grandfather came from Dublin, so there we've got a path. There are three colours in that. There's a blue, there's a red, and there's a bit of sienna. Right, so let's get busy now with putting these greens in, these light greens. And as that dries, I can go over it. So we'll put some hedgerow type of stuff in here. This is where the Payne's grey comes in very handy. And same on the other side of that. I'm guessing this. Right, let's I got to put ends and trees here, so I'll just put those in loosely. This one's on the edge. I'll just add some more bits and pieces on the bank there. Another one here. Comes down into the down to about there, but that I can see some branches and trunks on that one, but this is just enhancing the bank there. And let's get some more darks in here. Really dark greys, lots of Payne's grey, but warm Payne's grey. I'm using quite a bit of burnt sienna in with this just to make it show a bit better. And let's come down here and try to preserve this bit here, which is another tree. I'm using very thick paint here. Get some warm colours, a bit red. This is the art of controlling the amount of water on your brush. So let's just, I can put some figures on this. Now as that dries, we can do a bit of dragging over the surface. Look, it's all adding texture to an otherwise nondescript sort of scene. I'm just going to go here with this darker. Okay, right. No, I've got no detail in this. Detail is in the foreground. I'll lift out some yachts that don't exist. But before I do, I'm going to put in some trunks and things, a bit of detail. I must admit I am finding this a very difficult painting to do. But then, life's full of challenges, isn't it? Right, so we've got this coming up here. Remember, your trunks have to be able to hold the weight of the tree, all the branches and leaves and things. So let's just come up here with when you rest your little finger on the painting to get some purchase and some steadiness, make sure it doesn't dip in the wet paint, because I keep doing that. So let's just bit of detail in here. Right, I'm going to give that a dry. I'm thinking of, well, before I do that, I'm thinking of just cleaning my brush and just going over these peaks a little bit with a bit of dry brush, a bit of blue and red, just a little bit darker than it is at the moment. A bit of red, look. not too obvious, but darker than what's there. So I'm just trying to enhance that yellow. Oh, weather forecast not very good. I was going to do some stuff on the barbecue tonight. Right, okay, let's just put something in there. Right, I'm going to let that go for that. I'm just going to dry it. So take your headphones off if you're listening on headphones. Oops. Tangle up the cable to my camera. Right. So what I'm going to try and do now is to dry brush over some of this, just to show a bit of this shadow or reflection from those hills behind, or mountains behind. A little bit here reflecting that, and just that will do. That will do. No more than that. Right now. Figures, give a little bit of scale to it. Whatever. My number 3 rigger. Okay, now figures, if you can remember, have them walking into the picture rather than coming out of the picture, and make the head small. I hope you can see that. If you make them too big, they look a bit naff. So there we are, I've got one Irishman coming down there. Do we need another one? No, one we do. Right, I'll just dry them off. We don't want to jog him. My 1/2 inch flat. And a bit of tissue, which I haven't got. Well, I've got this tissue. I buy my big roll of tissue from a cheap shop up the road that wasn't very expensive. But I usually got a lump of toilet roll, a roll of paper, because it's very absorbent. But we've got this bit of some buildings in here, so we'll put those in. You can always use masking tape, masking fluid, but I have used it on some of my demos, but it can be a crutch. So I think it's better to lift out, scrape out with a card, just showing some shapes of roofs. This is quite accurate, although these aren't accurate, but the actual position of them is, that's where they are. Let's just make it look as if there's some buildings and stuff going on along here. Now what we can do here is to put a sail. That's the great thing about counter change, do the background dark along the shore, and then just blot out, and you've got your boats, a little bit of detail, a little bit of focal point. We'll put some in here. It all adds scale to the painting. I'm not going to hold my hands up and say this is a masterpiece, because it's not. It's quite a struggle doing this. So I don't know what that is going to look like online, but I'm just want to put a bit of detail in that path. Oh, that'll do. I'll sign it, put some birds in, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, we'll put that in the blue mount and just have a look at it and see if we've got anything going for it. And I hope within the next day or so I'll find out exactly where it is and I can let you know. Well, there we are, somewhere in Ireland. Photographed by Andy Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E. He takes some wonderful photographs. This is probably the third or fourth one I've done of his, but I'll look out for them. But you can see how I've tried to preserve the light on the top of these clumps of trees here. I've lost it a bit there, but it's very difficult to, because our lightest light is the paper. You can always add a bit of gouache, a bit of colour, but I'm loath to do that. That's a pure watercolour, although I do have a new tube of white gouache. There we are. I'll zoom you in. Well, whoops, sorry, taking you for a little wander, little merry trip around the studio. Right, okay, so there's my figure. There's the path, which I've enhanced. It doesn't exist. There is a path there, but not as I've done it. There weren't any yachts, I've added those, nor birds, nor a figure. But that's the best I can do with it at the moment. Never seen it before in my life. Thanks for watching, have a good weekend. Bye bye.